Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Manga Storian, the channel where I, Benny, also known as the Comic Storian, sit down and discuss manga and anime through my podcast, Dubbed Degenerates, and through just reading them and giving you my reactions to everything. If you're new to the channel, I've been doing a full read through of One Piece, and very soon this week or next, we're starting a full read of Berserk so that you can see what's going on. But there's one thing that when we started Manga Storian about a year ago now, a little over a year ago, that I enjoyed doing that we kind of stopped because I got super busy with a dozen and thousand other projects. I said the problem was I was reading too much One Piece in a sitting, and I made it so I couldn't read other manga. Well, we've reduced the amount of One Piece so that I can read other manga. And today's other manga, because I like finding these obscure things, is one that I checked on YouTube and found almost nobody really talking about and only like a few articles. No one's really mentioning this one, and I really thought it was cool. It's called Shojo Null. So let me give you the pitch for Shojo Null. We're in a dystopian future where we use robots. There are slaves, and they do whatever we tell them to do. Standard science fiction fare. Cool. The robots apparently are actually sentient, and there's a chip in their brains forcing them to just listen and do whatever humans want, even though they have thoughts and they know what they want to do. They have no free will. Okay, more dystopian science fiction, future jazz, and nonsense. There's a very popular anime girl looking model that is in a military transport, ends up getting into a wreck, and she ends up getting free. That little anime girl model is a super crazy military model who has the ability to pop out all kinds of weapons and do crazy things. Okay, so far, everything I've said sounds like about a billion other science fiction, android, dystopian future manga, right? Well, the change here is that she doesn't want to save humans. She wants to murder every single one of them. And the person who finds her is kind of like his dad got killed by people because they wanted to hide the fact that his dad knew about the fact that the robots actually were sentient. So he wants revenge on the humans too. So we got the little boy human guy and the crazy psychopathic robot girl, and they just want to murder all humans. And that's the plot. Did I sell you? No? Okay, let me tell you a little bit more about this manga. So it opens up basically with our character Marie, who isn't named for a little while. She is in this wreck. She ends up falling out and ending up in the forest. And in this forest, she is basically wandering around looking for something to do. Our random hero, it's Riahi. Oh man, I didn't write his name down. But whatever, it's a Benny thing. We're gonna call him the main character. Main character finds Marie. I wrote her name down. Plus, that one's easy to say in English because it's a very English name. Or is it a French name? ADD kicking in. I don't know. Marie. Main character finds Marie, brings her back to his house. He's hiding the Gaijin. That's what they call these androids. We kind of immediately touch into the fact that there's something more going on. Now, obviously there is. If you've read any manga or seen any anime, they weren't just going to shove this robot off to the side, but in her pocket is blood, guts, and robot parts. And you're like, okay, what is that? Turns out these are her friends. She's keeping them as sentimental mementos of the people that died on the wreck. And so right away for me, I was like, oh, okay. So we're gonna do. It kind of reminded me of Chobits. Now, here's the weird part. One, Chobits is like 20 years old. Two, I've never seen Chobits. So I don't know why it reminded me of that. Is Chobits about like a bunch of nice and friendly people? Because I don't know. But anyway, it reminded me of Chobits. I don't know why. So I'm like, okay, that's the direction we're going to be taking this. The problem is the military are looking for that model. Immediately, lots of things are getting blasted out, and things start to get weird because for some reason, none of the robots in the area can recognize Marie and report that she has been found. So our story then progresses forward with YouTubers kidnapping Marie and our main character. They bring them to their apartment where they're going to disassemble Marie to figure out why the military wants her live on the air. They pull out a chainsaw and they rush in with the chainsaw. No, wait, they didn't pull up the chainsaw. My bad. Marie hacks in. This is the first time we see this. Hacks into another Gaijin nearby. And that Gaijin goes insane, grabs a chainsaw, and starts chasing the YouTube kids. Chainsaw enters into the room. Crazy robot is going nuts. A whole big scuffle. What ends up happening is the chainsaw gets buried into Marie's head. So she gets chainsawed right in the forehead, not by Chainsaw Man, but by some random maid. Also kind of cool and hot, but whatever. The chainsaw goes in and it breaks the chip, restricting the free will of Marie. Marie, being a military bot, has the ability to instantaneously heal. She heals over the spot, and then tentacles come out of her arms, and she just cuts the YouTubers into multiple bits, and then flings their limbs at each other. And the what I thought was going to be a sweet little story about a sweet android girl trying to find humanity took a dark turn. We got limbs and bodies going around, and then she goes to the main character, Riaha, or we're calling him main character still. I don't know why I'm trying to remember his name. Uh, and he's like, okay, so you have free will now. And that's when we discover his backstory. His father apparently discovered that these Gaijin have sentience, that they know what's going on, and that they're being restricted by the corporations in the military to be forced into being slaves. But they're fully aware of it. It reminds me of the old horror story, but it's like, I have no mouth, but I want to scream kind of a situation where you're fully sentient, but you can't do anything about it. And so basically, we discover that his father found that out, but the military and the corporations and one of the cops, this guy's almost like a comic book character. I mean, we are reading manga, but you'll get what I'm saying in a minute. Cops shows up, murders everyone in the facility so that the evidence of that doesn't get out. So we discover that main character also hates humans and wants to give freedom to the Gaijin and is aware of this. He's aware of what happened. So Marie asks him, he's like, they're talking, and he basically boils down to, what are your goals? And she's like, to murder all the humans. And this is my first complaint with the story. He very nonchalantly is like, okay. And I'm like, huh, okay. So then it turns into, we go to what I thought it was going to be. Marie is now free. She's super excitable, has more energy than me after I've chugged this entire coffee right here. And she wants to experience life. So she has all the goals that, like, I don't know, they always seem to get to me, where it's like the goals are make a friend, go hang out with people, go shopping, like normal things that we take for granted in the real world. When we have that character that has never experienced it in a manga or an anime, for some reason, I'm always like, you go make friends. But since this is Shojo Null, I'm like, you go make friends and then murder humanity. Like, so this is the direction the story's taking at this point. Marie, we discover a little bit more about the characters, about main characters' friends, and they come over. Marie makes friends with them. They end up going around. And then we discover what main character's day job is. His day job is that he goes off and does deliveries. And one of these deliveries is to a guy who runs a playhouse. And so for the last night of the play, main character has been invited to sit here. Now, he told Marie to stay back at the apartment because people are looking for Marie for two reasons. One, she's an escaped military robot. And two, she just murdered 5 YouTubers, who they also discover, very convenient for plot purposes, is the main YouTuber is the child of the cop that killed main character's father. Convenient, right? So what ends up happening is he goes to the play. Marie sneaks out, as you would 100% expect. She goes out because she wants to do things, find out where he is, shows up. She wants to be at the play. She wants to see what a play is. She wants to experience a play. Well, the play is, this guy sets it up so that the Gaijin, the robots, have to listen to what he says, and they murder each other on the stage, just constantly murdering each other. And Marie sees this, and something snaps in her. And this is, I haven't read much farther than this, so I don't know what snapped. Her hair goes from white, goes to black, and she mass murders everyone there by controlling all of the robots to get revenge on everyone there. She like controls everything. There's nothing in her way, no big problems, nothing at all. So she does this and then flips back to being Marie with the white hair and doesn't know what just happened. So we've got that interesting thing that's going to be coming out. Now, that could go in a very trope, very I'm expecting it direction. That could also go in a direction of I have no idea what's happening. I'm getting very weird vibes from this because a lot of it is like, I've seen this before in a manga or anime. Oh, but we're taking this spin on it. So it could be interesting. That is about where I've left it right now. I did read 2 more chapters later, but nothing giant happens. It's more world building. We discover where like the slums are, what the robots are doing. We discover a mysterious character. And this is where we discover that the cop dad is like a cartoon character. He's like, doesn't care that his son died. He's snorting coke off the drug dealers and stuff like that. Like, it's like, what is wrong with this guy? But that's where I'm at right now. The story right now has 16 chapters on Shonen Jump. There is no released manga, and I can't even find the announcement of one. So in my journey to find something that not a lot of people are talking about, I discovered Insane Robot Girl Murders Humanity. That's the title of the video. I just I just titled the video. So I like this story. I want to see where it's going to go, and I wanted to bring it to you guys and talk about it because I just need to rant and rave about things that I enjoy because that's how ADD works. I hyperfixate on things, and I want to talk to you about it like a 5-year-old who just discovered what any hobby is. So now, since this is my first time into it, let's discuss real quick my actual problems with it because I did enjoy it and I did like it. So far, Marie's character doesn't seem to have anything in her way. The military can't find her and she's hidden. Black market dealers pick her up. She doesn't care. She's going to instantly murder them. She can control every other gaijin around her. So because of that, there's no real major threat right now. So at the point I'm at, which I believe is 6 chapters in, there is no threat against Marie except main character, who's the only one that she listens to. But that's my second complaint so far. He's very nonchalant about her wanting to murder humanity. He's just hiding this murderous robot in his house. He doesn't seem to be on board or against it. He's just kind of like, I'm along for the ride, kind of an attitude. They meet a different character in the later chapters that I got to 5 and 6. And he asks what the main character's purpose is. And he says, well, my purpose is to make sure that Marie's goals are fulfilled. So I don't know where that's going to go, but he seems very uninterested in the plot, which since he's uninterested in the plot, it makes me uninterested in him. But luckily, we've got a psychopathic robotic girl who wants to murder everyone. So that's keeping me attached to the plot at the moment. But yeah, that's kind of where it's at. I'm enjoying it. I would love to see your guys' opinions on it. I do highly recommend it right now. There's 10 more chapters out. It goes to 16. I have not read all the way up there, but I will, and we'll talk about it more here on the channel. But yeah, also, it immediately becomes an instant watch or read because they reference One Piece where she's like, what happened to this guy? They're all so cool. And how do I stretch like him? So, and she says One Piece, like they reference the real world, which is great because they're carbon dating this like bread. It's just going to get old so fast because of that. Have you ever leave bread out? You know how quick it actually gets stale then moldy? That's what's going to happen to this because they mentioned YouTube. They mentioned One Piece. How is this going to read in 10 years? Not well, but whatever. What's YouTube? That's the thing your pops did. I did YouTube's for the monies. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching today's video. We're trying to get more of these more obscure other videos out there, and I hope you enjoy, and I will see you next time right here at Manga Story.